Minor, but which we know as Turkish Anatolia. The great kingdoms of Phrygia and Lydia were there, but they were already occupied and ruled over, so it was in the north that Dardanus settled, occupying the peninsula that lies below the Hellespont, the straits into which Helle fell from the back of the Golden Ram. Years later, Jason would sail through the Hellespont on his way to find the fleece of that ram. The love-struck Leander would swim nightly across the Hellespont to be with Hero, his beloved. The stories of Helle, the Golden Ram, and Jason can be found in Heroes, and the tragedy of Hero and Leander in Mythos. Even later in history, those same straits, now called the Dardanelles after Dardanus, were the source of terrible fighting in and around the peninsula city that the Greeks called Callipolis, beautiful city, which over time had turned into the name Gallipoli. The city Dardanus established was called, with little imagination and less modesty, Dardanus, while the whole kingdom took on the name Dardania. Following the founder king's death, Ilus, the eldest of his 3 sons, ruled, but he died childless, leaving the throne to his brother, the middle son, Erichthonius. The reign of Erichthonius was peaceful and prosperous. In the lee of Mount Ida, his lands were fed by the waters of the benign river gods Simmias and Scamander, who blessed the land of Dardania with great fertility. Erichthonius grew to become the richest man in the known world, famous for his 3,000 mares and their countless foals. Boreas, the north wind, took the form of a wild stallion and fathered a remarkable race of horses by the filly foals of Erichthonius's herd. These colts were so agile and light of foot, they could gallop through fields of corn without bending a stalk. So they say. Horses and riches. Always, when we talk of Troy, we find ourselves talking of wondrous horses and uncountable riches. Foundation. After the death of Erichthonius, his son, Tros, succeeded to the throne. Tros had a daughter, Cleopatra, and 3 sons, Ilus, named in honour of his great-uncle, Assaracus, and Ganymede. The story of Prince Ganymede is well known. His beauty was so great that Zeus himself was seized by an overmastering passion for him. Taking the form of an eagle, the god swooped down and bore the boy up to Olympus, where he served as Zeus's beloved minion, companion, and cup-bearer. To compensate Tros for the loss of his son, Zeus sent Hermes to him, bearing the gift of 2 divine horses, so swift and light they could gallop over water. Tros was consoled by these magical animals and by Hermes' assurance that Ganymede was now, and by definition always would be, immortal. Indeed, the cupbearer lives 2 immortal lives in the night sky, as the constellation Aquarius, the water carrier, and as a moon of his lover, Jupiter. The planets all take on the god's Roman names. It was Ganymede's brother, Prince Ilus, who founded the new city that would be named Troy in Tros's honour. He won a wrestling match at the Phrygian Games, the prize consisting of 50 youths and 50 maidens, but, more importantly, a cow. A very special cow that an oracle directed Ilus to use for the founding of a city. "Wherever the cow lies down, there shall you build." If Ilus had heard the story of Cadmus, and who had not, he would have known that Cadmus and Harmonia, acting in accordance with instructions from an oracle, had followed a cow and waited for the animal to lie down as an indication of where they were to build what would become Thebes, the first of the great city-states of Greece. It may seem to us that the practice of allowing cows to choose where a city should be built is arbitrary and bizarre, but perhaps a little reflection should tell us that it is not so strange after all. Where there is to be a city, there must also be plentiful sources of meat, milk, leather, and cheese for its citizens, not to mention strong draught animals, oxen, for ploughing.